What is good, YouTube? How y'all doing? This is Supreme War at your deck. How y'all feeling today? Welcome back to another video. So this one right here, we're gonna react to. This one is called Tik Toks That Will Ruin Your Childhood Forever. So actually, we're gonna react to two parts. We're gonna react to part one, then we react to part two, cause they just released that part two like what, just today or yesterday, and I got like a little bit curious to see what's that about. I mean, well, obviously the title, but we'll see what this video about. I mean, yeah, I know obviously it's gonna show something that will ruin your childhood, like cartoon childhood, like cartoon you grew up watching back in the day and all that. But I'm just a little curious to see how it looks, you know. So we're gonna react to two parts, part one and part two. So first we're gonna react to Tik Toks That Will Ruin Your Childhood Forever, part one. So are y'all ready, y'all? And don't get furious in this video. I know a lot of y'all grew up in the 90s or 80s or early 2000s, and they could do something to piss you off and ruin your childhood. So brace yourselves. Alright, let's get right to it.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why there are no humans in the movie Cars? Well, we had to be there at some point to pump their tires. This means that cars turned against humans and ran us over one by one, until there is nobody left but cars. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered how Mr. Krabs could have a whale daughter? Or why she always calls him Daddy and asks him for money? This is because Mr. Krabs isn't Pearl's real dad. He's actually her sugar daddy.
What?
I'm gonna ruin your childhood.
Well,
have you ever wondered?
I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. If you watch that SpongeBob back in the day, and yeah, Pearl, she always asked Mr. Krabs for some money or more than that, you know, and yeah, and she always treat Mr. Krabs with disrespect and all that, and always like cranky and all that. So yeah, it makes sense when you think about it, right? She might be his sugar daddy. Hey, I mean, you never know, right? You never know, might be true or not.
Why you've never seen Andy's father in the movie Toy Story, or why the majority of his toys are male? Well, it's...
I mean, it could be reasons why you never see Andy's father. Either he like walked away or passed away.
Because Andy's father died in a tragic car accident when Andy was younger, which is also why he spends so much time with his male toys. He's looking for a father figure. I'm gonna ruin your childhood.
That's deep.
Did you ever notice how Caillou has no hair? Or why his parents let him get away with things all the time? Well, it's because Caillou was diagnosed with cancer when he was younger. Caillou's parents adopted Rosie because they weren't sure how much longer Caillou has. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie Wreck-It Ralph, Calhoun's husband gets eaten alive by the Cybug. As shown in other parts of the movie, Cybugs transform into whatever they eat. Which only means, after the Cybug ate her husband, she had to kill some form of him on her wedding day. I'm gonna ruin your childhood.
Okay then.
After the passing of Carl's wife in the movie Up, Carl died from a broken heart. Which is why Carl keeps having flashbacks of his wife. Russell is his guardian angel trying to guide him into heaven. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Did you ever wonder why Sven is so attached to Kristoff? Or did you ever notice how Kristoff is wearing a reindeer pelt? Well, it turns out Kristoff is wearing the reindeer pelt of Sven's mother. Sven is so attached to Kristoff because the scent of him reminds him of his dead mother. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Timmy is so sad all the time? Well, it's because Timmy has severe depression. Cosmo and Wanda symbolize the two antidepressants he takes, which means Cosmo and Wanda are just a figment of Timmy's imagination. Timmy came up with the fairies to help him cope with his severe depression.
I mean, I don't say imagination because everybody could see the fairy godparents besides Timmy.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Charlie Brown has little to no hair? Or why his life seems like such a disaster sometimes? Well, it turns out Charlie Brown is dying of cancer. Charlie lays in his hospital bed dreaming of his experiences. Every single episode is just one of Charlie's dreams. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie WALL-E, there are no humans on the planet Earth. This is because the robots turned against the humans. There was a
but Charlie has been diagnosed with cancer, then he would like die like he would like then die, but he survived all the season episodes of Charlie Brown, right? Of the show.
Huge war that lasted many years. Wally was the only robot to survive. Now Wally cleans up the earth in hopes that the humans will forgive him. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Peter Pan was a crazy psychopath that trapped little kids in Neverland. He killed them before they grew up, which is why they could never leave as adults. Captain Hook was one of the Lost Boys that escaped Neverland, which explains why Peter Pan attacked Captain Hook and fed his arm to the crocodile. Which means the whole time Peter Pan was a bad guy. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. So in the beginning of the movie Shrek, there's three bears caged up. We have Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Later on in the movie, we can only see Papa Bear and Baby Bear sitting by the fire. So where's Mama Bear, you may ask? Well, later on in the movie, you can see that Lord Farquaad turned Mama Bear into a rug. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever wondered why Andy always wears a red hat? Well, it's because Andy's mom used to own Jessie when she was a kid. In a flashback, you can see that exact same hat right here. Andy's mom gave the red hat to Andy when he was little.
I didn't know that.
Which means she also abandoned Jessie when she was younger. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Mr. Krabs is the only crab in Bikini Bottom? Or why he named his famous bird, guys? I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Mr. Krabs is the only crab in Bikini Bottom? Or why he named his famous burger the Krabby Patty? Well, it's because the secret ingredient for the Krabby Patty is actually crabs. Which means Mr. Krabs is a cannibal. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Mother Gothel from Tangled is the evil queen from Snow White. Hear me out. So at the end of Snow White, the evil queen falls off the cliff, but we never really see her die. What happens is she finds the flower from Tangled, which makes her young and beautiful again. Because remember, both of them were obsessed with being young and beautiful. Also, they both have the same dagger. Here's the evil queen with hers, and here's Mother Gothel with hers. They also look very similar in their older states. So what about the famous red apple, you may ask? How come it's in Snow White but not in Tangled? Well, you'd be wrong, because it is in Tangled. When Flynn saves Rapunzel for the second time, he is stabbed by Mother Gothel. Now look at the print that is made on the wall when he slunches over. It's a red apple. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, there's one scene where all the presidents on Mount Rushmore get pied in the face. Except Abraham Lincoln. If you look closely, you can see that Abraham Lincoln got pied in the back of the head, which is the same way he was assassinated. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood.
I didn't know that.
In the show Blue's Clues, have you ever wondered why Steve talks to random objects all the time? Well, it's because Steve is a drug addict and is losing his grip on the real world. The child voices he hears in the background are actually people.
I think Steve's actor was a drug addict. I mean that's what I've been hearing.
Trying to help him get back to reality. Steve left the show so he could go to rehab. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Candace's mom can't see the amazing things that Phineas and Ferb do? Well, it's because Phineas died tragically when he was younger, and Ferb was born with a disability. Candace couldn't cope with it and became mentally ill. Candace built an imaginary world where Phineas was still alive and the brothers did amazing things together. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is her psychologist who is trying to get her back to normal. The last episode where the two brothers go to college symbolizes her younger brother's death and her ability to move on with her life. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Patrick is so dumb all the time? Well, it's because Patrick suffers from Down syndrome. His parents loved him but couldn't handle the pain of raising him.
Down syndrome?
So they kicked him out when he was only a child. Patrick became homeless, which is why he lives under a rock. Patrick's parents told SpongeBob to take care of him, and they became best friends ever since. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Squidward always gets mad at SpongeBob? Well, it's because Squidward is SpongeBob's legal guardian. SpongeBob's parents hired Squidward to protect him from his ADHD, which is why Squidward lives right beside him and always watches over him. He puts up with SpongeBob's nonsense.
And because he always wishes he don't move away from SpongeBob.
Sense while suffering from severe depression. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Remember the show Rugrats? Well, all the babies are dead and are just a figment of Angelica's imagination. Chucky and his mom died giving birth. which is why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time. And Tommy died due to complication, which is why Stu is always in his basement making toys for the child he never had. The DeVilles had an abortion, and Angelica couldn't decide whether it was a boy or a girl, which is why she came up with the twins. Susie is Angelica's only real friend, who went along with it to make her happy. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna...
Yeah, they died, but if y'all watch All Grown Up, they're alive there too, right? They died there too, right? Even though they like growing up into teenagers. Okay.
Ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered how all the creatures in SpongeBob can talk? Well, it's because the Bikini Bottom is located right underneath the Bikini Atoll, which is where the US government conducted 23 nuclear tests during the Cold War. SpongeBob and his friends have been genetically mutated by the nuclear radiation, allowing them to evolve and talk like humans.
This guy is funny as hell, man. He got like crazy possible reasons of why this and why that happened to this cartoon character, that and that cartoon character, this, for funny ass reasons. I mean, so man, I would say I agree with it. I mean, what you think about it? I mean, what you think about your whole life when you're watching these shows? You be like wondering why he's like this, or why the character's like that, or why is he angry all the time, or why is he dumb all the time, and all that. And you can think like a lot of reasons, well, in real life reasons, I mean, that's the cause of why they be like that all the time. But yeah. And other than that, I don't believe that. I don't believe the reasons at all, and the other reasons that he like split out. But anyway, that was part 1, so we're gonna check out part 2. So let's check out part 2. Part 2 should be funnier than part 1.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Plankton always wanted the Krabby Patty formula? Well, it was because he was abused by his parents when he grew up, and he was neglected by society, leaving him with no friend. He thought if he stole the Krabby Patty formula, he would finally be accepted into society. All he wanted was some friends. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna...
Or he just wanted to make his chum bucket better than the Krusty Krab.
Ruin your childhood. In the movie...
Because he hates Mr. Krabs so much.
Toy Story? Have you ever wondered why the toys can be alive? Well, it's because the toys are evil and feed off the joy of children.
That too,
Molly got rid of Bo Peep, and Sid tortured the toys because they both knew the truth. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Phineas is so smart? Well, it's because Dr. Doofenshmirtz is Phineas's real dad. Linda and Dr. Doofenshmirtz used to be married, and shortly after, Phineas was born. This also explains why Phineas and Dr. Doofenshmirtz have the same shaped heads, hairstyle, and eye color. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie Titanic, have you ever wondered why Jack looks so futuristic? Well, it's because Jack is a time traveler. He was sent back in time to stop Rose from committing suicide. Rose's suicide would cause a delay in the ship's course, ultimately preventing the crash. This would have changed history forever. Jack needed to pretend to love Rose for this to happen. At the end of the movie, he even mentions a roller coaster that didn't even exist yet. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Peppa the Pig was never healthy and always sick. One day, Peppa's parents decided it would be best if they euthanized her. That same night, Peppa fell asleep and was injected with a poison, killing her. Peppa's final dream was about fairies, which is why she wanted to become a fairy. Peppa's parents couldn't live with the guilt of killing their own child. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Nemo translates to nobody in Latin? Well, it's because Nemo doesn't even exist. Nemo is just a figment of Marlin's imagination. After the Barracuda attacked and killed Marlin's family, he came up with Nemo to help him cope with his loss. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie Lilo and Stitch, Lilo's parents were in the CIA before they died, and Cobra used to work with them. He promised to take care of Lilo after her parents died, which is why he keeps her under 9.
Yeah, I just realized, you know how they not making them real life Disney movies? So I've been waiting for them to make Lilo and Stitch, and they still haven't made it yet. But hopefully they'll make it. They'll make a real life Lilo and Stitch movie. They got it right. I mean, they're already making a lot of real life Disney movies nowadays. Well, we have Lion King. What was that other movie called? That just came out. It's on Disney Plus right now. But yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, I'm ready for them to make a I'm still waiting for them to make a real life Lilo and Stitch movie. Hopefully they
Daddy's
will.
hair. Lilo's love for photography comes from her CIA parents. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna ruin
Little
your
Mermaid
childhood.
as well.
Do you remember Crazy Steve from Drake and Josh? Well, he actually murdered Drake and Josh and
Oh,
abducted
come on, not
Megan.
Drake and
He
Josh.
changed his name to Spencer and forced Carly to act like they were siblings. He then brainwashed her into loving him. Carly started the show to try to alert the police. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna
What?
ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Timmy Turner and Danny Phantom look
This
so
guy's for
alike?
real.
Well, it's because they're actually the same person. Right before Timmy's 13th birthday, he wished to be a ghost fighting superhero. And the next day, he turned into Danny Phantom. Chester grew up to be Dash, AJ grew up to be Tucker, and Trixie grew up to be Paulina. I'm gonna ruin your...
Oh wow. I didn't realize that the other characters look alike than that character. Wow. This is funny. They should have made a crossover movie from Fairy Odd Parents and Danny Phantom, but they never did that. Well, they only did that with Fairy Odd Parents and then Jimmy Neutron. I remember that one. That shit was good.
In the show Tom and Jerry, Tom loves
Tom and
Toodles with
Jerry.
all of his heart. But he lost the love of his life to a cat with more money. Tom even signed his own life away for her. But she ended up marrying another cat.
Yeah, I remember this
Tom
episode.
then fell into a deep depression and started drinking milk to ease his pain.
That episode was kind of dark though, by the way. Cause yeah, man, Tom, he been trying to get with the ladies and he keeps failing. And yeah.
Alright guys, I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Dora's head is so big? Well, it's because Dora has a disease called hydrocephalus, which causes an overgrowth of the head and started drinking milk to ease his pain.
Go back.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Dora's head is so big? Well, it's because Dora has a disease called hydrocephalus, which causes an overgrowth of the head and stomach. It is also believed that she has Down syndrome and ADHD, which explains why she can't remember what the map told her 3 times in a row. Boots is actually her guiding animal because of her disabilities. Sorry guys, I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie The Wizard of Oz, the main character who played Dorothy was given adrenaline shots to keep her up for 2 days straight. The actor who played the Tin Man got severe breathing issues from inhaling the aluminum dust from his makeup. And the snow in the movie was made from asbestos, which can cause lung cancer.
This dude, yo, is this dude for real? How the hell he came up with that? I mean, random reasons like that. How? Damn, he must have studied them. But alright, that was a good video. 2 of them of part 1, part 2 of Tik Toks that will ruin your childhood forever. And that did not work on me 100%. Not both of them. Both of them did not work on me 100%. I mean, I guess maybe if I was a kid, maybe it worked on me. I don't know, cause I'm not a kid right now. But who knows? Maybe it will. I don't know if it'll work out y'all too, but who knows? Alright, but anyway, what y'all think about this video? Leave a like in the comment and subscribe to the channel if you're new to this channel. Because I'm here to entertain y'all, get a little laughs out of y'all, and amuse y'all and press y'all all the way. So stay tuned for another video. Peace.